Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my goals for 2026. Pretty much all of these are surrounding my hobbies in some capacity, and so I'm just hoping to be able to connect with some of you in a different way other than just the fact that we like to read books. So let's just get into it, shall we? The first goal has to do with my channel, and it's just that I would like to try to be active here this year. I'm not gonna put like all this pressure on myself. I'm probably not going to be able to go like full booktuber because I do have an extremely full-time job. And so I'm just like, right now I'm still trying to figure out like how much time I can allow for this between all of the other things that I got going on. But yeah, when I started my channel, I really loved being here. I loved making videos, even if nobody watched them. And so yeah, I want to give myself a little bit of time to be able to do this year. So for my next goal, it's kind of coming at a pretty interesting time. It is a bit of a coincidence that where I'm at in my life is like the exact same as where everybody else is in their life, because it's sort of becoming a trend on TikTok and YouTube for people to like unplug and like detoxify and just like separate themselves from like the stressors in their life, like social media, their job, or just things like that. And like, people are just now starting to realize that we're not supposed to be slaving away at our 9-to-5s for our entire life. We're not supposed to be like on Instagram and like on TikTok 24/7. Like, we're not meant to be living the way that we're living currently right now, because it's just too much. There's too much noise, too much stimulus. And people are starting to realize that, and they're starting to break free from that, and they're starting to invest their time in things that they enjoy doing so that they don't hate their life. And I'm also just arriving at that point. Like, I've known this information for a long time, but I was just like constantly about the grind, you know, gotta work, gotta get my money so I can pay my rent. But I was a little miserable last year. I was just a little bit cranky. And I think that 98% of that was just me not like choosing wisely how I wanted to spend my time. I didn't partake in my hobbies a lot last year, and that made me really sad. And so this year I want to figure out like a work-life balance and figure out like how and when I want to spend my time, like on what things. Of course, I would like to read as much as I want, as much as I can this year. Last year, I just remember saying a lot like, oh, I wish I would have read instead of doing this other thing. Or like, I could have read a book in the time that it took me to accomplish this other thing. So I really need to figure out how to prioritize the things that are important to me. Something interesting that I never thought would come to me is like how my job is. I work in a restaurant, but one of my responsibilities requires me to use the computer for like 6 hours in the week. Like wherever I can fit that, 6 hours spread throughout the week. And most of the time I just do it at home, but like I could listen to an audiobook while I'm doing my work on the computer. And so I'm probably gonna start doing that. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. Normally I just do it in silence, or I'll listen to a little bit of music, but I could be reading a book and enjoying a story while I'm getting my work done. This year is looking like pretty audiobook heavy for me, so I'm pretty excited for that. I do have like 15 audiobooks on Audible that I paid for that I need to listen to. And I also have Libby. Like if I have a book on my shelf that I want to read, but I don't have time to like sit down and read it, I can just see if it's on Libby. Another hobby that I started last year actually, that I would like to continue this year and figure out how I'm going to incorporate this into my life. It's crocheting. I learned how to crochet towards the end of last year. My sister crochets and I always thought that it looked super fun, but I just, you know, didn't think that it would be something that I'd be into. But I decided to try it last year, and she had like extra like yarn balls and an extra set of hooks that I could borrow while I was trying it out, because like I didn't want to go like buy all the supplies if I wasn't going to actually commit to it. I've only made one thing since learning how to crochet, and it's this little drawstring bag. How cute is this? I use it to store my earbuds so that they don't get like tangled up in my purse. But I've made like 4 of these. The first one that I ever made was just awful and it doesn't exist anymore. But then I made one for my mom. It's blue. And then I made this one for me. And then I used this yarn that I used for my strings. It's like rainbow. I used to make one for my best friend. But yeah, it was really fun to learn how to make this. This was like a hyper fixation for me for like 2 weeks. And I actually started another project. This was supposed to end up being like a little handbag type of situation, but only for my Kindle. Like I was only gonna have my Kindle in here. I think because this yarn like isn't sturdy enough to like have a ton of weight in it. And so like I wasn't gonna be able to use this as like a daily purse. But yeah, I started this in like August and I just never finished it ever. So that's kind of annoying. These stitches look really good actually. I might finish this and use it what it was intended for, or I might just unravel it and save the yarn for a different project. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, I have my little basket of crochet supplies. And I would like to continue learning how to crochet and eventually making something, because so far I've just made the same thing over and over again. I would also like to get back into sewing. Like I've known how to sew since I was like 13. I have a sewing machine that I've only used a few times. I've made like chair cushions. I made a book sleeve one time. I made like this thing that you drape over the arm of your couch or like an armchair, and it has pockets in it for like your TV remote or like your phone charger. That was pretty fun. I still have it. I still use it. I think the most notable thing that I've made was my Art the Clown costume like 2.5 years ago. My brother and I decided to work the haunted corn maze at our local-ish orchard for the season like 2 years ago, and it was really fun. Like just getting to take on this character and scare people in a cornfield was so fun. But I think what was more fun than that was making the costume and putting it together. I didn't vlog it, but I did. I have all of the footage in my Snapchat memories. Like I was sending it to my sister every time I was working on it and just showing her like my progress. That was so fun. And like sometimes I'll go back and watch those like it's a YouTube video. So yeah, reading, crocheting, sewing, all that. Crafty. I want to do a craft. Another goal that I have is that I really want to be a regular somewhere. Like I want to be one of those people who show up at the same place at the same time every time they go. Like where I work, we have a bunch of regulars. They come in like 2 times a week at the same time and they order the same thing, and like we know their name, we know things about their personal life, and they know us, and it's just like a really cute connection to have in your life. Just somebody that you recognize from seeing them like on a weekly basis. And I just want that. I just want that. And so I'm probably gonna try to go to the library. Like I wouldn't want to be a regular at a restaurant because I'm trying not to eat out so much this year. But I would like to try to go to the library. I always say that. I know everybody always says that. But like for me, I really have no excuse because the library is like a 3-minute drive from where I live. There's no excuse why I can't just go like for 30 minutes once a week or maybe even twice a week. And so I'm going to try to get to the library this year. I haven't really made any steps to do that yet. But it is on the forefront of my brain, and so I'm thinking about it actively. I also had a bright idea that I could work at the library, like how I work at home, but just do it at the library. I have a laptop. It's kind of slow, but it'll get the job done. And so I might be working at the library sometimes, and that will get me in there on a weekly basis because I have to get that work done. And sometimes I don't want to sit at the computer in my room. The scenery gets boring because I'm just staring at a wall. But if I'm at the library, change of atmosphere, change of pace, new setting, fresh start, maybe I'll even be able to get my work done quicker. But yeah, that's exciting. And while I'm there, like if I need to take a break from my work, I can just get up and go look at the books. I'm excited already. Okay, I'm probably gonna go on Tuesday. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that's another goal that I have, and I'm gonna talk about one more. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be talking forever. But one last goal is that I really want to save some money this year. You know how it is when you're handling physical cash. You know, you're like, oh no, my cash. But if you're just swiping that card wherever you go, everywhere you go, or if you're online shopping, it's really easy to forget about how much money you're spending or like lose track of how much money you're spending because you're not seeing the physical cash leave your hand and feel the pit in your stomach when your cash is gone. I don't know if it's easy or hard for you to save money, but it's hard for me to save money. Last year, I started a vacation savings. I had a tin that I was putting cash into like every once in a while, and I built it up pretty good. I had like $450 in there, and that was gonna be the money that I could take with me on vacation and spend it. But once I realized that I wasn't gonna be able to go on vacation, I started spending it. On myself, on other people. I used it to help me buy Christmas gifts because money was a little tight towards the end of the year. And I didn't care at the time. But now I'm really disappointed because I could have just saved it anyway and kept building off of it. But it's gone now. It is what it is. And now I basically have to start over. I have like $90 left from what I had. And yeah, I really want to be able to go on a vacation, but I can't just go on a vacation. Like I have to have money for that. And so the only way that I'm going to be able to go is if I save some money. And I thought that a really fun way to contribute to my vacation savings is to put money aside every time I read a book. For example, I'm in the middle of Mallory by Josh Malerman. The price on the book is $28 because it's a hardback. And so when I'm done reading the book, $28 is going into my savings. And then I'm also in the middle of We Used to Live Here, which is a paperback, and so that one's $18. So when I'm done reading that book, $18 is going into my savings. Sometimes I'll read a kid's book or like a middle grade book. Those are only like $8 to $10. So if I read one of those, $8 to $10 is gonna go into my savings. I didn't want to get like just a generic jar because those are clear and see-through, so you can see the cash, and it's more tempting if you can see the cash. So I didn't want to do that. And I wanted something big enough to house all of my cash because I'm going to be making money this year. So I found the perfect vessel for my savings. I got into tea last year and my granny gave me this precious coffee mug / tea mug for Christmas. It has like a cute little tassel on it. The art on this is beautiful. And I show that to you because it came in this equally beautiful box. I almost dropped it. It came in this beautiful box, okay? This is the perfect vessel for my cash. I didn't want to throw it away, but I didn't have a purpose for it, but now it has a purpose. This is the leftovers from my vacation savings last year. This is the first thing that I'm depositing into my savings. I also wrote myself a little note to have on top of my cash. It's just like a reminder of what this is and what it's for, like why I started doing this, so that if I'm ever tempted to dip my little fingers in there and take the cash out, I'll just be humbled and reminded that I just better not, and maybe I'll put it back. So yeah, those are pretty much all of my goals for the year. I do have a few more just relating to like adult things like financials and like health and like my job and stuff. But I'm not going to get into those because they are quite boring. But yeah, I hope they inspire you to come up with some goals that are really just going to lift you up and make you feel good this year. Thank you so much for watching this video. If we have any common interests, let me know so we can connect about it. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you in the next one. Bye.